Tonight we're going to be talking about the 3 things that you can do in your setup, or 3 key things in your setup that can help you make a good golf swing and hit some good quality golf shots. So before we do that, we're going to let everybody kind of jump on here for just a minute or so. One of the things you could do to help us out here this evening, because we're going to help you hit some great golf shots, is let us know where you're from, but also give us a thumbs up. Can you hear us okay? Can you see us okay? We want to make sure that the audio is working. We want to make sure that the video looks good, so that as we dive into the content, then we know that you're hearing us. So like I said, tonight's topic is 3 things in the setup. So specifically, we're going to talk a little bit about the grip. I've got an interesting concept about the lead thumb. We just did some social media posts about that, what you should be doing with your thumbs that can really impact how you hold the golf club. Then we're going to talk a little bit about the stance, specifically posture and body angles. Okay, we're going to talk about those types of things. And then also we're going to definitely get into ball position. Where should the ball be? Like, for example, right here, I've got a wedge. Later on, we're going to be hitting like a fairway would. And where should we be positioning the ball? Because the truth of the matter is that if we don't get set up correctly, if we don't hold the club correctly, if we don't get the ball in the right spot, if we don't position our body angles correctly, it's going to be difficult to make a good golf swing and make solid contact. Okay, good. We've got some people out there. Nick, we got a thumbs up there on the camera. Okay, good. There's a thumbs up from Nick. That means that you can hear us. So you know how this works. Let's get rolling. Todd Kolb, PGA teaching professional for US Golf TV and also VLS Golf. Now, we love hearing where you're from, so be sure to throw that in the channel. And also at the end, we're going to answer any questions that you might have. So if you do have questions, start putting those in the chat right now. Nick is behind the computer over there, and he'll start jotting those down, and we'll be sure to answer those for you. All right, let's get started. The first thing we're going to talk about is how we hold the club. How do we hold our instrument? As golfers, the golf club is our instrument, all right? And how we place it in our hands is important. Now, you know me here. We like to keep the game simple, and we like to give you what we call golden nuggets, all right? Anytime we say, hey, this is a golden nugget, that means I would write it down because it will definitely help you get headed in the right direction. So here's the first golden nugget for this evening. When you place your hands on the golf club, do it from a framework where your lead arm is just falling down your side. Okay, and what do I mean by that? And we're going to get into how we actually do it. What I mean is when I place my hands on the golf club, or you place your hands on the golf club, do it from a position where your arms are just falling down to your sides and you grip it over here. Most golfers, this might be you, okay, put the club in the middle of their body like this, and then they go ahead and place their hands on it from this position. Now, when you do it this way, it doesn't mean you can't do it correctly. You can, all right, but it can require some adjustments. But when you do it on the side, you work with your natural framework of your body. So what do I mean by that? Let's dive into that a little bit. So if you were to just do this at home or in the office or wherever you're watching, if you just stand up nice and tall and you let your shoulders just kind of relax, what you'll notice is that your arms, when they fall down, your hands kind of have a little bit of rotation to them. All right, I'll go in here and even move a little bit closer to the camera. So you can see when I just kind of stand here, notice how my arms and hands just fall. They don't fall like this, okay? They don't fall like that. They just kind of fall naturally. Now, when I look down at my arms, or excuse me, my hands from that position, all right, I can see about 2 to 2.5 knuckles on my lead hand. Well, how many knuckles do you think you want to see in your lead hand when you're holding the club? 2, 2.5, right? So the simple concept, this is the golden nugget, of placing your hands on the golf club from the side like I'm doing right now and letting your arm just naturally fall is a golden nugget because it will get you what we call directionally correct. So that's number 1. Grip it over here on the side. Now, I mentioned earlier about the thumb, and I just did the team did a little social media post on this just recently. So we're on social media, of course, obviously YouTube. Technically, is that social media? I don't. Okay, all right, good. I'm good. All right, the guy said yes, it is. All right. So of course, Instagram also, Twitter, and actually the guy's got me on TikTok. I don't know. Anyhow, here we go. So we're on all those places as well. But on the lead thumb, guys and gals, here's what I want you to watch. I'm going to do this a little bit closer here, all right? So we're going to get Nick up there. He's going to zoom in for me. He's doing dual roll right there. So when you put your thumb on the golf club, you can do it a couple ways. You can have your thumb like this, all right, which is what we call long thumb. That would be bad. Or you could have what we call a short thumb, like this, where you slide the thumb up. So long thumb is bad, short thumb is good. So see, I'm just taking my fingernail and I'm just kind of pulling it up towards my body. Now, what does that do for us? What it does is that from the down the line view, when I take my thumb, this is bad, long thumb, like that. Thank you, Nick. That's bad. When I move it to short thumb, you can see how my hand changes just a little bit. And what that does is it moves the club a little bit more down into my fingers. All right? So 2 little golden nuggets already for this evening. Number 1 is just grip the club on the side, okay, because that way your arm will naturally fall the way that it was made, okay? 2.5 knuckles, slide the thumb up. Now we're in a good spot. Last step to this is you're just going to go ahead and give it a couple hinges like this. See that? That tells me, all right, that my lead hand has got to be pretty close. Now, there's more to it than that. Obviously, we could spend 2 hours talking about the grip, but we got other content to get through. So that's what I wanted you to get through on the lead hand. Now, one little tip on the trail hand, which for us right-handed golfers is our right hand. For those of you who are just getting here, hey, tell us where you're from. We love hearing where you're from. And also what you're tuning in here tonight, obviously, is US Golf TV. We're talking about three things in the setup that we should be doing to get us set up correctly to make good golf swings. We're on grip right now. We're going to be talking about body and posture angles in a second, and then we're going to get into ball position. So great to have you here. Give us a thumbs up. Now, the trail hand, which is the right hand for us right-handed golfers, all you're going to do, okay, is you're just going to take it, and that's my target going that direction towards the simulator. I'm just going to move my palm towards the target. So as I place my trail hand on the club, the palm just keeps looking at the target. Boom, just like that. Now, there's a lot of other things, you know, do I overlap? Do I interlock? 10 finger? All great questions. Okay, if you want answers on those. All right, I didn't plan on pitching it tonight, but look at it. All right, this is my own self-promotion, Nick. I know. Come on, quit laughing. Here's our book. It's called The Bad Lie. You can get it on Amazon. All right, we cover all the details of the grip in the book there. All right, so that's the grip. All right, if you got any questions, be throwing those in the chat. Looks like we got a couple coming in already. We're going to be sure to get to those before we're done. All right, let's talk about posture and body angles. Posture and body angles. All right, so when we set up over the golf ball, the golf swing is an athletic movement, okay, just like any other sport. Now, sometimes it doesn't feel like an athletic movement. I know it. Right? Your back's sore, your knee hurts, whatever. You don't feel like you can move like you used to move, all right? But it should be an athletic movement. So the position is very similar to other sports, right? Your feet are going to be about shoulder width apart. Okay, you're going to bend your knees a little bit. You're going to bend your hips just a little bit. And you're going to kind of get in this, what we would call like athletic position. But I want to focus on a couple specifics that you can do for yourself that you can check. Now, if you have a bad back, okay, or you don't have the mobility that you used to have, pay attention. This is a golden nugget for you. What I want you to do is make sure that your toes are just slightly flared open like this. Oh, good. Thank you, Nick. So see how my toes are just kind of flared open just like this. I don't want your toes straight ahead. That'd be okay if you're a young gun and you got a lot of flexibility. Or if you actually over-rotate, this can help. But if you lack mobility, or your back or your knee or something, you don't move like you used to move, take those toes and just point them out a little bit, because as you point them out, that'll make it easier for you to rotate and to turn. All right? So roughly about shoulder width apart, make sure you get those toes pointed out. Now, what about the distance from the golf ball? Let's talk about that. We'll do that from down the line here. All right? The distance from the golf ball is going to vary, of course, a little bit by the length of the club. So I've got a fairway wood here, right? And I've got a wedge. Now, of course, these two are different lengths. that goes without saying, right? I mean, one is longer than the other one, right? Obviously, okay, you know that. However, here's a good checkpoint for you. This, once again, is going to get you what I call directionally correct. That's what I believe so much in golf. I'm not going to go off on a tangent here, but you can get in the weeds really quick with golf. And if you want to get in the weeds, you should probably just jump off and go somewhere else, because that's not what we're about here. We like to, the game is hard. The game is hard, but it doesn't have to be complicated. You got to be directionally correct. Now, what is directionally correct with body angles? Well, shoulder width apart. Okay, makes sense. Yeah. Toes flared a little bit. How much? I don't know, 20 degrees, 25, I don't care, but they're flared a little bit. And then here's the last piece. When you hold the club and you get set in there, all you want to do is be in a position that your hands just kind of fall slightly or basically below your shoulders. And you'll notice as I do, see how my hands just boom. It just fits right back on there like this, right? Okay. Now, if I was like this, okay, that doesn't work, does it? See, my hand that doesn't go back to the same spot. Okay, it does there. Boom. Now, let me just do it with a fairway wood. Now, this club, of course, is longer, but the principle, once again, is directionally correct. Still kind of holds true. So here I am. All right, there we go. Good. Okay. Yeah. Now, my hands might be a little further away from my shoulders than the wedge, but you get the idea. It's pretty darn close. All right, so let's review that a little bit, and then we're going to get into ball position. Now, we've talked a little bit about the grip. For those of you who are just getting here, PGA teaching professional Todd Kolb here. I'm the director of instruction right here for US Golf TV, and right over here, VLS Golf. This is our new studio. We love it. That's why we're able to go live here tonight. We're trying some things out, and we appreciate you being here. Be sure to tell us where you're from. Give us a thumbs up. We're talking about the setup. We talked a little bit about the grip earlier on. We talked about body angles. Let's talk about ball position. All right, now, here's your third golden nugget for the evening. I'll try to give you one in each one of the categories, okay? First one was, remember, grip it on the side, okay? Second one was hands below the shoulders. Here's the third one. The bottom of the swing, or where the club hits the ground, okay? Basically, this is not exact, okay, but basically, directionally correct, is equal to the buttons on your shirt. Let me say that again. Where the club hits the ground, assuming you have a decent golf swing, which, of course, if you're here and following the vertical line swing, you have a good golf swing, right? Okay, all right? It's going to be equal to the buttons on your shirt. So, that being said, when I'm hitting a wedge or an iron, right, we definitely know, and we've done a bunch of videos, Nick and myself and the whole team here, we've done a bunch of videos, right, on what we call ball first contact. We want then the ball to be at that bottom of the swing or slightly even behind it, because we want to hit the ball and then the ground. So where is it? Well, when I get set in here, I'm just going to make sure that the ball is pretty much equal to the buttons on my shirt. Make sense? Pretty simple. Now, you might be thinking, okay, makes sense. How do I find that spot? Let's keep it simple again. Just put your feet together. I've got the alignment rod here, got the ball there. Okay? Put that in the center. I'm going to step towards the target and step away from the target equal distances. All right, let me do that again. So let me give you I'm just making these numbers up. So I'm here. So I'm going to step towards the target 5 inches. I'm just making that up. But then I'm going to step 5 inches away. So whatever I step towards, I step away equal. That positions the ball basically in the center of my stance, right? Now, what about a fairway wood? Okay, now keep those questions coming. I can see in front up. I see Nick, he's writing over there frantically. He's writing down all these damn questions. Okay, keep those questions coming. Doesn't have to be about setup. It can be about anything related to golf. What is it that you want to hear us talk about? What about a fairway wood? Well, a fairway wood, we want to catch the ball on the ground at basically the same time. It's kind of like it's just like a sweeping motion. It's kind of like the club is arriving to the ball at the same time it's hitting the ground. Iron, it's ball, then ground. Fairway woods, it's kind of equal, give or take. So how do you find that? Well, once again, we want to position the ball. If this is basically the bottom of my swing, I'm going to move it then just slightly in front of the buttons. So between the buttons and the logo on my golf shirt. Okay? When we hit drivers and stuff like that, it would be more forward. That's for another conversation. So how do you find that spot? Well, once again, put your feet together. Now, if you take a step towards, it might be 3 towards, 6 away. Okay? So I'm here, it might be 3 towards, 6 away. Once again, I know that might not be exact, but it's going to be what we call directionally correct and get you going in the right direction. So, all right, some really good stuff there. Hopefully you found a couple winners out of that. But let's get into a couple questions. We got a little bit of time left because we got a busy evening. We've got a coaching program stuff we're doing. VLScoaching.com. VLScoaching.com. If you want to personally work with us and me, personally work with me and our team on your game, go to VLScoaching.com. We got a bunch of different programs. We got people from all over. Saw some last week. Canada. Let's see. Last week we had Canada, Florida, Washington State, Texas. Oh, New Jersey, New York. They didn't make it back in time because the flights were all getting canceled because the weather was crappy. But all right, hey, Nick, what do we got? Let's give us a couple questions here.
First one comes from Peach. Should the left thumb, I'm assuming lead thumb, be on the top of the grip or to the right?
Oh, who asked this?
Peach.
Pete.
Yep.
Thank you, Pete. What a great question. Pete, where are you from? Pete, where are you from?
Peach.
Huh?
Peach.
Okay, Peach. Hey, listen. Here's what the deal is, group. Let's just be honest. My hearing sucks, but I do know some things about the golf swing. Okay? So, poor Nick's, he's got to repeat things 5 times. He's like, I'm getting old. All right. So, Peach, here's what I say. First of all, tell us where you're from. Put it in the chat. We love hearing that. Here's the answer to that question. Great question. That thumb, like you said, is going to be short, and it should be ever so slightly, what I would say, turned to the right a little bit. So if I'm looking down here, I got the VLS Golf right down the middle. That thumb, now I'm going to choking down on a little bit just so you can kind of see it. But that thumb isn't going straight down the VLS. It's just ever so slightly to the right of it as I'm looking down. Great question. Here's another checkpoint that you can work on. There's a little bit of a line that's kind of formed between the thumb and the hand right here. It's kind of like this little bit of crease. That crease should be pointed towards your trail shoulder. Okay, that's another good checkpoint for you. Really good question. What you'll notice is that when you let your hand just fall over here, see, like my thumb, it kind of falls a little bit to this. It doesn't fall straight down like that. It falls a little bit to the side. That's why we like to grip it over here on the side. Really good question. Really good question. All right, what else do we got there, Nick?
Yeah, so she's from Evansville, Tennessee.
All right, Tennessee. All right. That's a state I haven't spent a lot of time in. We need to get there.
This one comes from Lawrence in Orlando.
Lawrence, all right.
Who also has the bad lie and the easy break.
All right.
Always have a question on the start of the backswing on VLS. I always have a question on the start. So basically, how do we start the backswing?
How do we start? Okay, well, first of all, thank you for your support. Thank you for purchasing the bad lie and also the easy break. I hope they're helping your game. We were just having dinner here as a team earlier, and my kids are just out of college now, but so I'm good to go. But my main man, Nick, he's just getting started, guys. Buy more books. Buy more books. He's got to get him through. So the question is like, how do we start the swing? Really good concept. So here's another golden nugget for you. I'm going to give you this one. This, in essence, sums up the golf swing. All right, in 8 words. We usually don't share this on our live sessions. We usually keep it part of our coaching program, but we're in a good mood tonight. We're going to give it to you. Here's the golf swing, and then it's going to tie into your question. The golf swing in 8 words is this: arms take it up, body takes it around. You could write that down. Arms take it up, body takes it around. Meaning the arms take the club up and down. The body takes it around. And when you combine those two, some around and some up, you get a good golf swing. Looks something like this. My arms take it up, my body takes it around. That looks pretty good. My arms take it up, my body takes it around. These are the things we teach in the vertical line swing, all right? Now, how do we start the swing? Great question. Back to your point there. Here's the key what you want to do. This right here is what we call the butt end of the club. Okay, so just do this. Next time you head to the range or the simulator to hit golf balls, when you start your swing, make sure the butt end of the club, which is right here, moves away from the target initially. So the target here is the simulator, right? Right. So when I start the swing, I want to make sure that the butt end of the club moves away from the target initially. When you do that, so many good things are going to happen. So many good things. The club face is going to be squared up. The club head is going to be slightly outside your hands. All of these things are going to happen that you don't need to think about if you do that one thing. When you start your swing, move the butt end of the club away from the target, and you're going to be on the right track, my friend. And once again, in all sincerity, thanks for your support. I hope you enjoy both the books, and they're helping you out play some good golf. Nick, what do we got time for? One more? Okay, come on, we got time.
You bet. This is from R. Sewell. I looked it up. He said he was from north of Seattle.
North of Seattle. Okay, all right.
Would you recommend practicing at 75% of your swing speed when working on your swing?
Okay, so the question is, this is a great question. When practicing and working on my technique, should I maybe work at about 75% of my normal pace? I think this is a great question. The short answer to that is yes. Okay, the short answer to this is yes. So here's kind of how I believe learning takes place, at least in my 35 plus years of coaching the game, whether it be a tour professional to somebody in our coaching program who's maybe 78 years old and learning the game for the first time. Step number one is you have to understand the concept. You have to understand what is it that you're trying to do. All right? And hopefully that concept is simple. I'm not saying it's easy, but it should be relatively simple. That's one of the core beliefs we have here at VLS, okay? VLS Golf and VLS Coaching. So number one, you got to understand the concept. Number two is you have to be able to do it without hitting a golf ball. If you can't do it without hitting a golf ball, you're not going to do it when hitting a golf ball. All right? It's kind of like if you can't drive the car around the parking lot when nobody's around, you sure as heck ain't going to be able to drive the car in the middle of the freeway when there's cars going 80 miles an hour all over you, right? So that's step number two. Step number three ties into your specific question. Can I do the motion at what I would just call a more controlled pace? So you said 70, 75%. Absolutely. Okay. And then the last step, or the next step, I should say, is being able to do it at full speed or normal speed. And then the last step of the equation is, can you do it under pressure? That could be a tournament. It could be a little small wager with your friends on the side. Doesn't matter what it is, but can you do it under those conditions? So, all right, we got time for one more question, I think, Nick, here before we got to wrap her up. Hey, you're here tonight. We're talking about the 3 things that you can do in your setup. We gave you a couple of golden nuggets. Grip it on the side. That was one of the ones. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go back and watch the beginning of the video. We talked a little bit about posture angles, how your hands just kind of fall below you. That was excellent. Then we talked about that really good golden nugget. The bottom of the swing is equal to the buttons on your shirt. Okay, and then just understanding that can help you get headed in the right direction. We do cover, like I said, all of it in our book, The Bad Lie, our short game book, the Easy Break. It's not in there because this is full swing tonight, but The Bad Lie, it's all in there. So Nick, what else we got?
Yeah, this one comes from Joyce. I either top the ball or smack the ground. How do I know where to stand for each club?
Okay, so the question is hey, I'm topping a lot of shots, or I'm hitting the ground first and then I'm hitting the ball. So basically what we have there is we have a challenge of controlling where the club hits the ground, right? So we understand that if I make a good golf swing, I'm going to hit the ground where the buttons on my shirt are. Okay, we got that. So here's how you can practice that. Here's what I would do. Now, the first thing is go ahead and take your left foot. If you're a right-handed golfer, take your lead foot and put it a little bit forward. Take your trail foot and put it back. So notice that my stance width is pretty narrow, okay, but my lead foot is definitely in front of my trail foot, okay? Then what you're going to do is just make no ball, don't hit a ball, just make some swings. Just swing, back and through, back. Now, you're not going to be able to make a full finish, okay, because your body's a little bit in a compromised position here, all right? But it's just back and through. Now, what's going to happen is that the buttons on your shirt are going to naturally stay more centered and equal with the ball because your stance is narrow and your foot is back. Because if you start to go the wrong way, you're going to fall over, okay? If you go off the ball this way in the backswing, you'll fall over. If you stay back, you're going to fall over. So that's a simple and easy way for you to learn to control where that club hits the ground. All right, hey, we're US Golf TV. We're VLS Golf, VLS Coaching. We got a ton of free content coming out. Be sure to give us a thumbs up. We're here to make the game simple. We're here to make it fun. If you're interested in working with us on your golf game, go to vlscoaching.com and check it out. And always remember that you do not have to swing like a tour pro to play great golf. You just have to have some good basic information that can help you play your best golf.